how's it going, everybody? What's up? Welcome back to another video. So guys, for those of you that don't know, there was a Tarkov podcast announced for this Wednesday, the 19th. This is the first Tarkov podcast we have had in a really long time. So myself and my community have been coming up with a list here of stuff that we are probably pretty likely to see during the podcast. So we're making somewhat of a bingo card, if you will, to see how many things we hit and how many things we miss. So for those of you that have never watched a Tarkov TV podcast before, what happens during these podcasts is Nikita comes on, usually with Demirka, and they will show footage of like upcoming builds of Tarkov. They will show off new things that are coming to the game. They will make some announcements. And I think that it is very likely that during this Tarkov TV podcast, the date of the wipe will be announced, which is actually the first thing that I have written down here. So everybody was kind of surprised that the last patch that we got did not come with a wipe. So it means that we are very likely going to have at least another month or two of this current wipe until the next patch comes out, which is hopefully going to be the Unity 2021 update, which is probably what they're saving for the wipe, because it's going to be by far the biggest update that they have done in a couple of years. So the first thing I've listed here is wipe announcement. One side of my brain is sitting here and thinking, we're probably not going to get a wipe announcement, but we're probably going to get an arena announcement. Now, why do I say that? Well, they've been very quiet about Arena, but we've also seen footage of it, and from what I can see in the footage, it is very far along in development, and it's looking good. It's so far along in development that they have already had a professional team, like a professional esports team, come in and playtest it. Now, they probably wouldn't have done that if, you know, the game wasn't really ready to go. So it's interesting that they've done that, collecting feedback from those players. They might just be doing balancing changes now. But what I have written down here in my notes is Arena gets released day of podcast as a surprise. That would be incredible. That would be really cool, but that is insane levels of copium. That is probably not going to happen. So I am going to say that either the wipe is going to be announced or Arena is going to be announced, and we're going to get a date for either the wipe or for Arena, which is pretty cool. That'll be exciting. So hopefully we get either one of those two announcements. Just getting one of those two, I wouldn't really give a shit about the rest of the stuff that I have written down on this list, but those two are the big ones. Now, next up, we've got the quick stuff. This is pretty simple stuff. This is also very predictable stuff, and it's stuff that is very likely to be in the next patch that we're going to get. So first up on the list, new guns, new armor and gear, standard stuff. This one is very likely. New bosses for streets. So streets, when the map is actually finished, I think Nikita said there's going to be 4 bosses altogether. So what I think is going to happen is Glockar is going to be removed from the car dealership. Killa is going to be removed from the hotel from Pinewood. And what they're going to do is they're going to replace those 2 bosses with 2 new Streets of Tarkov bosses, or potentially remove those 2 and just add in 1 Streets of Tarkov boss. So this will be the first new boss that we've gotten since the Goons were the newest boss that we got. But I think it's very likely that we're going to get an announcement for a new boss on Streets, because it doesn't have its own unique boss yet. Also, we are very likely going to get new footage about the BTR on Streets. There's a chance that the BTR is going to be coming to Streets on the next patch when the next expansion gets added. And then other performance fixes and culling on maps to hopefully make the game run better for everybody's computers. Now, this is one thing here. I talked about this in my chat a little bit. We haven't had a map rework in quite a while. Now, I think that there is a decent chance that we might end up getting a rework for an old map. Now, for me, I have written here, interchange, please God, please God, please God. But it is likely that it might be another map. It could be Shoreline, it could be Woods, it could be Customs, because the Customs rework didn't really have too much in it. Maybe they're planning on adding some new stuff to it. I don't really know. We'll just have to wait and see. But it's also entirely likely that we might not even get an older map rework. It would just be cool, you know, especially if it was on Interchange, because it deserves it, because it's the best map in the game. Moving on from that, we have, of course, you know, we're going to get updates on the anti-cheat, you know, they're going to talk about that. They're going to talk about cheaters, blah, 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 blah. You know, we know desync fixes, etc. You know, working on the netcode. After that most recent patch they put out, they're probably trying to refine that now and make the desync better, which in fairness to them, the hit registration and the desync has been better. The game definitely does feel a little bit better in those regards. So they're moving in the right direction with that. And then also we're probably going to get a verbal update on their progress with the Oculus audio engine, which is what they are currently using. So hopefully we're going to get a whole slew of new stuff for the audio side of Tarkov, because it definitely needs it. It has gotten a little bit better. It still definitely needs a lot of work though. This is something that is pretty much guaranteed to be shown or at least talked about on the podcast, and that's going to be Unity 2021. It would be nice to get our first look at Unity 2021 just to see footage, see what the performance is like from the old Unity to the new Unity, the new stuff that they're going to be able to do with it. Apparently there's a lot of new networking tools and all this other kind of stuff that they will have with Unity 2021, so it'll further allow them to, you know, refine the game a bit more, etc. Another thing as well, this is possible, and this whole idea came to me because I was sent a video of what Tarkov would look like if it had ray tracing. I'm hoping that maybe BSG announces ray tracing support for Tarkov. It would make the game look incredible, but on a balanced side of things, people who don't have like RTX ready cards or whatever, or graphics cards, might not be able to utilize Unity. So the thing is, you could be looking at one streamer's POV and another streamer's POV, and people would be seeing completely different things. That's the only thing that makes me think that they might not add ray tracing to Tarkov, because I think it would be a massive advantage to the people running it. You would pretty much have to have ray tracing on in order to be competitive with other players on very dark maps such as Interchange. We'll see. Maybe they'll announce it. I don't know, but I kind of hope they do. That'd be pretty sweet. It's also very likely that we are now going to get an updated roadmap. Now, the two parts of the current roadmap that we're on have been completed, so we're going to get to see what the next steps are after that. Also, Streets expansion is another thing that is very likely to be talked about. This is only part 1 of 4 of Streets that has been released, so they're probably going to show some new footage of the next Streets expansion, because they've already shown some screenshots on Twitter of Streets part 2, let's say. Another thing I've written down here is new map. It's very unlikely. I don't think we're going to get any new maps for EFT until DLCs come out. I think that Streets is going to be the final map that we get for Tarkov. I would be a little bit surprised if they just popped out and said, hey, new map is coming. You know, that, like, it'd be sweet. Don't get me wrong. I'd love that. But I think they're focusing all their efforts on getting all of Streets completed, and we're probably not going to see any new maps until the game hits 1.0 and it's fully released, and then whenever we eventually get DLC down the line. Another couple of little things here. Flashlight nerf, please. I really hope they talk about flashlights on the podcast. It is one of the most frustrating metas that this game has ever had, and it 100% needs to be dealt with, and it's gotta go. The current iteration of flashlights, gotta go. I'm over it. Everybody else who plays the game is over it. I am sick to death of coin flipping fights, because he has his flashlight on, I have my flashlight on, neither of us can see anything, and you're literally flipping a coin, who lives and dies. Please just nerf flashlights. They're stupidly overpowered, especially if you have more than one of them on your gun, and they should not be like that in their current state. So hopefully they talk about flashlights a little bit. Helmet flashlights are probably going to get some attention. Hopefully we get a key that can toggle them on and off and, you know, do other things with them. So hopefully that gets fixed, because running flashlights on your helmet would actually be kind of cool. But you can't really do it right now. It's a bit scuffed. Other things that are very likely, I would say. New quests, maybe a new trader. I kind of doubt it, but Lightkeeper is probably going to have his quest line finished pretty soon, and they're probably going to expand upon the stuff that you can do with Lightkeeper, i.e. make him an actual trader that you can trade things with. So he is very likely coming with the Unity 2021 patch. And then other pretty common things that happen all the time too, trader adjustments. You know, trader adjustments, weapon buffs, weapon nerfs, attachment buffs, attachment nerfs, all the usual stuff that comes with wipes in Tarkov. Maybe some things in the hideout are going to get changed. All of that stuff is very likely. Also, potentially, new updates to the hideout, maybe new stuff. Getting the gym the last time was pretty cool. That was a fun experience. Maybe add another module or two with the next wipe, hopefully to expand upon the usefulness of the hideout. Now, one thing that I have written down here is please address soft skills for the love of God. I would love to see them do something new and different with the soft skill system, because in its current state, it's kind of archaic. It's a little bit old. It's just crap. So I'm hoping they do something about the soft skill system currently in the game. Maybe we can get soft skill point rewards as quest rewards, and we can choose where to put them, wherever you want to put them. That would be a really nice start. Maybe make it so it doesn't take an absurd amount of time to get max soft skills, because I know people that are literally level 70 plus that are still struggling to get certain skills maxed. That is how long it takes. For those of you that don't understand how long it takes to get to level 70, well, let me tell you, It is ridiculous. It's the equivalent of getting a couple of 99 skills on RuneScape. I'm hoping most people get that reference. It takes a stupid amount of time. Also, yes, maybe mag packing reanimations would be really cool as well. Now, the last thing that I have written down here on my list, which is very likely to happen as well, which will also be pretty cool because we did just get this with Streets, scav increases across all maps. They've been testing this out on Streets. People have been running into like 80 plus scavs in their runs on Streets. It's kind of ridiculous. So with that also comes potentially PMC increases on all maps as well, which would also be kind of cool. So that right there is my bingo card for the Tarkov TV podcast, which is coming this Wednesday. It is on the 19th. If you guys want more information about it, go to the Battle State Games Twitter. They posted an image of it with like the schedule and everything for like all your own time zones and all that stuff. You got to do your conversions. So lads, let me know, what are you guys looking forward to in the next patch? What are we going to get? What's going to happen? Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that usual stuff. And lads, I will see you guys on the next video, which will very likely be breaking down the new Tarkov podcast and all the new stuff that we're going to get. So guys, I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace out, my dudes.